So I think I'm audible and this PDF is also visible.
Good, very good. It is that then I don't have
So,
to speak about this thing. And
so we were discussing this predictor character method in
explain in
like earlier lectures.
the instrument figure,
So
how it works.
today we take some example like we have known like one is Adam Basford predictor character method, Milne Simpson's predictor character method. So what we will do in this,
Get question.
suppose this kind of question is given to you, dy by dx equals to x plus y by 2.
Then some questions.
So the first job is to find like this kind of values are also
Roll number
given here.
5.
Okay, here it is given, but I told you earlier that you have to calculate like here y0 is 2 is given, but these three values are sometimes not given in the question itself. Like this is corresponding to like if I say if I say this is my x naught, this is x1, this is x2, and this is x3. So in general, this one is given y naught, but this y1, y2, y3 are not provided. So to calculate these three values, y2, y3, and y1, so you have to use like your Runge-Kutta method, or you can use your Euler's method, Taylor's method, or Picard's method. So in this question, it is given. So good. So this is our y dash. So like if you remember, we say that this one is f of x y. Okay. And if I write like fn, and if you remember f of it will mean that f of x and yn,
Okay.
and that it means that because f of y here from this it is actually equal to y dash, so it is mean that y dash, actually this one is y dash in every problem given to you in initial value problem. So y dash is this one. So if n is there, so it means f x n y n and then y n dash. Okay. So
Okay.
in the book you have already seen that here earlier we have f of yn minus 2, but as f is yn. So fn or f of x n yn or yn dash, they are actually representing this function. Either fn is written there or yn dash written there. They are talking about this function f of x n yn. So when like someone told you to use a Milne-Simpson predictor character method, so you have to first apply your predictor formula. So this is your predictor formula. Like you want to know value at this y n plus 1, and p stands for predictor. Some author use here p and some here, so it's like notation, so you have to take care of it. So this is the predicting, like we are predicting the value, and the formula for Milne-Simpson predictor is this one: yn minus 3 plus 4 upon h, 2 y dash n minus 2 minus y dash n minus 1 plus 2 y dash n. So as here we have all values y1, y2, y3, so we can have all these values. So first we substitute n equals to 3. To substitute n equals to 3, we will get y4. So you know that y4 is actually, you want to know what is the value of y x4. So here this is x3 given, y3 is given, y4 you want, and here you are just now like predicting the value, or here, and you are predicting using your Milne-Simpson predictor formula. So in this generalized formula, first you have substituted n equal to 3, you have this one,
there is no problem. Okay.
and then you required y naught, it is given,
This is
but y dash 1 is not given. So how you calculate y dash 1? I think we have shown here. Okay.
so you have to calculate.
So y dash 1 is not given, y dash 2 is not given, y dash 3 is not given, but y1, y2, y3 is given. So this is easy, we know that y dash equal to this one. So from here I can calculate y1. So y1 dash, what it means, like x1 plus y1 divided by 2. And what is x1? X1 is 0.5 and y1 is something here. This 2.636. So you substitute and then you divide. 2.636 divided by 2 and you will get 1.568. So this is y1 dash. So here like they are using indexed 1 everywhere. So when we are saying y2 dash, so here it should be 2. x2 is 1 and y2 is this one. So what is x2? x2 is 1, y2 is 3.594. So you have substituted here, again you have done, and why this we are writing y dash? Because it is given in the question, f of xy or y dash is x plus y by 2. Similarly, y3 dash, you are calculating like this. So now you have with you y1 dash, y2 dash and y3 dash. Then you substitute all these values in the predictor formula. This is the predictor formula. So if you substitute these values here,
maybe day after tomorrow I will take the atomic positions.
you will have this and after simplification you will get your predicted value like 6.871. So now you correct this predicted value using your corrector formula. So in corrector formula also, if you see the corrector formula for Milne-Simpson is this one. Yn plus 1 equals to yn minus 1 plus h by 3 yn minus 1 dash plus 4 yn dash plus yn plus 1 dash. So yn plus 1 dash is required here. So here what value we will substitute? Here we will substitute predicted value. You can specifically mention it, like we will substitute here y dash predicted value. Otherwise, how we will calculate yn plus 1 dash? Because till now we don't know the yn plus 1, but this is the predicted value. So this we can use to calculate this one. These two already calculated in the predicted steps, even though this one also. So this one is given here. So what you do, substitute again n equals to 3 and you have this as your corrector formula, and then you require y2. Y2 is given in the question 3 point this. Y2 dash you have already calculated. Y2 dash is this one, 2.2975, and then y3 dash is already calculated, and y4 dash is required, and you calculate y4 because this is required in the corrector step. So you have already simplified it, like y4 dash predicted value you have to use here. Then like it is x1 plus y sorry, not x1, x4 y predicted by 2. X4 is your 2 and the y4 predicted is 6.871 divided by 2, and you have finally 4.4355. So it is your predicted value, and this value you have to supply here. So this is your after substitution you will simplify it and finally you have corrected this value. So you can say this is the like y2 because here x naught is 0 and h is 0.5. So x4 is finally like 2, x naught plus 4h. So this is like we stop if like further like instruction is not there. If I told you to that correct this value up to two decimal places, then you have to again repeat this corrector process. Not predictor. Now you repeat this corrector process again one more time and substitute this as a predicted here value, this value to further correction, and whether now you check that first correction of this is this one and what is the second correction, and if they are matching up to two decimal places you stop, otherwise you continue. This Adam Basforth fourth order method and Moulton, this is already discussed I think in earlier classes. I remember this one is also discussed, I think. Okay, let's see if it is not. So suppose this one is given and you have to use Adam Basforth predictor method. So Adam Basforth predictor method is given by this, and then here you again substitute n equal to 3, then you have this one. So you required all these value y3, y2, y1 as they are not given in the question. In the question is given only x not equal to 0 and y not equal to 1. So the calculate the value of this because evaluation of y1 dash required y1, y2 or y3. If you are going to calculate this y2 dash and y3 dash, so these three values you have to calculate by using your previously known method of order less than this Adam Basforth predictor corrector method. So here they have used Runge-Kutta fourth order method, and they applied Runge-Kutta fourth order method to get the values of y0, y1, y2, y3, and you know how to apply this one. So if in exam like someone told you to use Runge-Kutta method to get these values of y1, y2, y3, then you have to apply this one. So y1 dash is this, y0 dash, this is already calculated by you using your Runge-Kutta method, and then you are using here y1 dash equals to this one, y0 dash is this one because y0 is 0 and sorry, y0 is 1 and x0 is 0. So you are using this to calculate. Then you are using one values. Then you are using two values like 1. So we assume there is this only and then 3. Then again, I have already so you have calculated this all these y dash, y1 dash, y2 dash, and then you have substituted here, and then this is the after simplification you will get this as a predicted value. Now you're going to correct it by using Adam Basforth corrector method. So this is the corrector method like Adam Moulton one. So here again this one is there, here this is required. These values you have already calculated in your predicted steps, so you can substitute those values from there. This is also you have calculated using Runge-Kutta method. Now we have this y dash n plus 1. So y dash n plus 1 we will calculate using the predicted value. This is like we have obtained here. So this y4 predicted values we are using to calculate y4 dash that we are going to use here when we substitute n equals to 3. So then these values are already known to you in the predicted steps. So from there you substitute those values also,
How can you know?
and then you simplify, and then you will get your corrected value. And again, the problem is that, like if someone told you to go to three decimal places, then you have to repeat this character step until the desired accuracy is achieved. This one also we have discussed in the earlier classes.
Listening.
Like first they have this using your predictor Adam Bashforth formula, they have calculated y4, and then they have corrected it, and the first corrected value is this one. But the desired accuracy, to check the desired accuracy of two decimal places, we are again calculating or repeating our character step. And repeating the character step, we are getting the second like corrected value of y4. This is the first one, and we are checking that we are getting like five decimal places, so we stop here. Then we assume that this is the desired accuracy required. So these are the like predictor character method, and you can see all these problems. Okay, this one is actually already discussed with you in earlier classes. Vidal rule to get this. Like this is the formula. This you already know, even though I think this kind of question is in exam. I don't know, but we have already discussed this Vidal rule to calculate the definite integral. Then we have these theorems, and this is. I remember that this is. I think we have discussed earlier also. Like if x naught, x1, xn are the distinct real numbers, and the functional values are y naught, y1, yn. Like these are the n plus 1 data points are given to you. So these n plus 1 data point, you can always create a unique polynomial of degree n. So you have to prove that there exists a unique polynomial of degree n that fit this n plus 1 data. So this is the polynomial, that is approximated polynomial, and this is the value given here, like f of x not equal to y naught, like this. And this is, if you remember, this is the like interpolating condition satisfied by the interpolating or approximated polynomial p and x. So suppose there are like two polynomial like this. First we are proving the uniqueness. If there are two exist, then what will happen? If two of them interpolating this n plus 1 data points, so we have created another polynomial Rnx, which is like a subtraction of these two polynomials. Rnx is a subtraction of these two polynomials. And since Pnx and Qnx are interpolating n plus 1 points of a, so from here what we get in equation 1, the Rnx polynomial, and here we know that Pnx is a polynomial of degree n. So and Qnx is also degree polynomial of degree n. So their differences cannot be more than of degree n. So Rnx is a polynomial of degree n, but due to this interpolating condition from I goes to 0 to n, Rnx has n plus 1 roots. Because Pn of xi equal to Qn of xi, and it means like it's like that. Because if they are both are the interpolating polynomial, then they both are equal to yi when x equals to xi. Otherwise, they are not interpolating polynomial. So you are here like you have R and X a polynomial of degree n, but having n plus 1 roots, and this possible only in one case when Rx is a zero polynomial. And if Rx is a zero polynomial, then we will conclude that Pnx equal to Qnx. So it means if there cannot be two different polynomials, they are unique. Now we go to the existence part. Whether such a polynomials exists or not. Let us prove by induction, like for n equal to 0. So if n equal to 0, it means we are always taking n plus 1 data point. So it means we are having one data point, y not equal to f naught. And y not equal to f naught, and we are saying this is my polynomial, which approximate this one point data, p and x equal to y naught. So whenever I substitute x equal to x naught, it will give y naught. So this constant polynomial um, obviously exists. We can always assume like that the polynomial is px equal to y naught, and it satisfies this interpolating condition y naught equal to f of x naught. So if I substitute x equal to x naught, I still get y naught. So it means for like induction hypothesis, we are having that p of x naught equals to y naught. So for n equal to 0, the result is true. Now we assume that when we prove the result by induction, we assume that the result is true for the k data, and that means that k minus 1 degree polynomial exists. So suppose that we obtain a polynomial k minus 1 degree of almost degree k minus 1 with this k data points. If I am indexing like from I equal to 0 to k minus 1, it means I am having k data points. So we are assuming that if we are having data points, then there exists a polynomial of degree k minus 1, which is satisfying this interpolating condition. So p k minus 1x is a polynomial of degree k minus 1, and we satisfy this interpolating condition for the k data point sets. So now we will define like for n equal to k, we define pkx like this. So what we do now from here, like what we do assume like here, like we are considering now k plus 1 data points from this line, like we are considering k plus 1 data points. So if we are having with us k plus 1 data points, and whether for this k plus 1 data point there exists a interpolating polynomial, so what we do actually, we take k data points separately and one point separately. So for this k data points, there exists a polynomial of degree k minus 1, which satisfies these k data points. And for this we will see. So like we have taken one k plus 1 data point sets, and we want to find a polynomial that fits this data. So in this k plus 1 data points, we split the data, like first we find the polynomial for k data, and then we'll think what we can do for this thing. So for k, it is exists because this is the induction hypothesis we are assuming. If we are having k data point with us, then there exists a polynomial of degree k minus 1. So this is exists by induction hypothesis. And then we will see what will happen to this next point. So we are creating a new polynomial that fit this k plus 1 data point, and we are assuming that this one is pk plus pkx. And how this pkx we are creating? We are taking this pk minus 1x from here, because k data points are interpolated by this polynomial of degree k minus 1 plus some some constant into this product, x minus x naught, x minus x1, x minus x k minus 1. So we will see pk is a polynomial of degree at most k, because you have taken from x naught to k minus 1. This product is having term starting from x naught to x minus k. It means this x is multiplied k times. So px is a polynomial of degree at most k, because this is k minus 1 degree polynomial, and if c is not 0, then it becomes a k degree polynomial, and if it c is 0 somehow, then it becomes k minus 1 degree polynomial. So pk is a polynomial from this equation is of degree at most k.
Maybe there is soft copy is there. I can find.
Now we see whether this pk, which is a k degree, wait a minute.
Okay.
So I think I am again audible. So we were here like we have created a k degree polynomial pkx, and we are checking whether this k degree polynomial able to fit k plus 1 data points or not. Sorry, k plus 1 data points or not. So if I substitute x equal to xi in equation 3, you can see that, because, and now I'm taking I goes to 1 to k minus 1. So here this I is actually lies between 0 to k minus 1. So if x equal to x0, due to this factor, this term is 0. If x equal to x1, due to this factor it is 0. And for x equal to xk minus 1, due to this factor it is 0. So for I going from 0 to k minus 1, pk of xi is actually equal to pk minus 1 of xi. And pk minus 1 is already a interpolating polynomial that is fitting the k data points. So it is an interpolating polynomial that is fitting k data points. It means pk of xi equal to yi, or you can say f of xi. So now pk xi or pkx is also a polynomial which is also fitting these k data points. From this equation we can say that pkx is also fitting this k plus k, sorry, k data points. For one we will check because I goes to 0 to k minus 1, we are seeing that the pk x polynomial is also satisfying the interpolating condition, this one equal to this one.
its prime.
Now we determine the constant value c in the equation 3, so that it satisfy the interpolating condition for the k plus 1th point, like for x equal to xk. So we choose like that. We what we do, like we assume that pk of xk should be yk, and with this condition we will calculate the value of c. So we have assumed that pk of xk equal to yk. So everywhere I have substituted in the equation 3 x equal to xk. If I substitute x equal to x3 k in the equation 3, here it is pk minus 1 of xk, here pk xk, and here like in multiplication c into xk minus x naught, xk minus x1, xk minus xk minus 1, like this you are having. But this is we have assumed this one equal to yk to get the value of c. So this is be replaced by yk, and then we have taken this to the other side, so we'll get yk minus pk minus 1 xk, and this we will divide, because here we know that xi's are xi's. Actually we know that this xi is not equal to any xj when I is not equal to j, because these are the like our x points, and they are always distinct. So it is no use of taking x not equal to x1. So x1 and x2 are always different. So like xi and xj are always different when I is not equal to j. So it means we can divide. So we can divide, we will get the value of c. So now I substitute this value of c in the in this
difficult to identify as
in this
states. So rotational states only it can be distributed
in this equation.
Okay.
So if I substitute the value of c in this equation, I will get this
excited like
as a
C plus A, there is carbon and a nitrogen
polynomial of degree at most
hybridized
k.
and there is two
This one.
lactose.
So now this polynomial, this one, is satisfying or like satisfying interpolating condition for k plus 1 data points. How? If you substitute x equal to x naught, this is 0, and it is become pk of x naught, and pk of x naught is already y naught. And if you substitute x equal to x1, this part again 0, and you have with you pk minus 1 of x1, and pk minus 1 of x1 is already y1, because this is pk minus 1 is constructed like this. Now we have only one point remaining with us, xk. So to check for xk, pk of xk, like I substitute x equal to xk here. So if I substitute x equal to xk, what will I get? Here xk is there. Here yk minus pk minus 1 xk. And this factor will cancel out by this factor, because now you are substituting x equal to xk in the numerator. And then this will cancel out this, and you are getting yk. So it means like k plus 1th point is remaining, that is xk, for which the interpolating condition is also satisfied. So it means you have find a way to construct a polynomial of degree k for k plus 1 data point. So it means there exists a polynomial of degree at most k for k plus 1 data points. So this is the theorem. And then we have Lagrange interpolation. This I think we have already discussed this formula. Then this is the error theorem. This I will take into the next class. So what else is there? So one assignment is already posted in the WhatsApp group. You try to solve it. I will share the link for uploading the assignment also, and we will meet again tomorrow. So for attendance, wait a minute. One,
Present, sir.
two,
Present, sir.
three. Deadline of submission assignment submission I will extend. There is no problem, but like uh, like one thing I also want to share with you. Wait a minute. I think this is also visible to everyone, and then like I think you are having your own number starting from 19 or 20.
19.
19, sir.
19. It means you are new bench, no? So, like so this is like your you can see this is your numerical method syllabus, and if you see that we have covered I think everything like this: bisection, regular falsi, Newton Raphson, simultaneous equation, Gauss elimination, Gauss Seidel, concept of interpolation, difference operator, divided difference, Newton forward, backward, Lagrange interpolation, Stirling, Bessel, numerical differentiation, first and second order, numerical integration, trapezoidal, Simpson one third, Widal, solution of differential equation, Taylor's, Picard, Runge method, Runge-Kutta method, Euler method, modified method, predictor corrector method. So you can see we have covered almost all the syllabus. Like now I will discuss theoretical result so that I can mm, ask questions related to some theoretical results so that you have the time limitation is not a problem. So you know like almost all the methods, and the assignment date like not all the method, like your whatever is in your syllabus. So and the assignment deadline like today is 27. So like you see as asked a good question, like before Diwali I can expect you submit this assignment on 2nd of November. Okay, last date. So I will share today only. I will share the last date or also link also. Now I think 1, 2, 3 are already present.